Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking at Alliance War and who are some of the best champions to place in your Alliance War for defense, and then we're going to chat about who is probably best to use for offense. So if you look at the roster here, I'm just going to go through the champions in probably order of, let's do the six classes here, and we're going to start off with looking at Cosmic. So when I'm looking at champions and deciding who to place for defense, first of all, you need to know which champions were designed for better defense and who's better designed for offense. So the quick way to find that is let's look at Medusa. She's on top. Let's look at Medusa. We're going to look at the info on Medusa. Under attributes on the top left hand corner, you're going to see a little eye information icon. You're going to click under eye for attributes, and you're going to see that the champion tag is offensive. So Medusa is used as an offensive champion. So I'm going to close this off. And by the way, while we're here, the attributes, if you hit the percentage, you will see that Medusa has a 26.5 critical rating. The critical damage rating on Medusa is 202, which is a little bit above average. And you will see that anything over 200 is pretty, very, very good. Armor rating is 19.4, block proficiency. So you could do this for any champion in the game, and you will pretty much get more information as to how powerful that champion could be. So let's go here. Now, I know a lot of members use Medusa as a defensive champion in Alliance War, but she's really meant for offense, and I would just use her for offense. She does have that great auto block ability that is annoying sometimes when fighting her, but I would just use her for offense instead of defense. Now, someone like let's look at Venom, for example, and we're going to check on Venom. We're going to hit that eye attribute again, and again, Venom is a defensive tank. So where would I put him? I'd put him on defense. He's great as an attacker. Let me tell you, but he's designed for defense, and I like to put him onto the not the start of the fight, but the end of the fight, closer to the boss. Why I want to put him closer to the boss? Most of the champions by that time are worn down, have 50% health, 30% health, and if you get to Venom when you're under 18%, he's unblockable. The guy he just demolishes you. So I would use him definitely for defense. So he's a great champion to rank up for defense. Now the champion himself, I want you to take a note on the champion. You will see that the champion is also defensive. I love playing the champion for offense as well. I do him a lot with Questing because he has that regeneration and persistency charge, and he keeps regenerating after he has those charges built up. However, he's really meant for defense, and I'll tell you why he's very good for defense. When you put the champion on a final node, or whether he's attacking or defending a final node, he gains 666 armor and block penetration when attacking or defending the final node. So if he's awakened, I'd use him to defend that final node in Alliance War, and he could be with that unstoppable. And then you have to look at synergies as well. So our next tip while placing your 5 champs in Alliance War for defense, you need to have proper synergy for those champions to make them even stronger if you wanted to. And if you could have a champion that works well with 5 other defenders, that would be fantastic. So you would have to check your roster. Everyone's different because everyone has a different sets of champions. And so you want to diversify who we put into Alliance War anyway. We don't want to put the same exact champ. You got to look at the nodes. So our next step, before you actually place champs, take a preview of what the nodes look like in Alliance War, so you know what champs to bring to that war. So who would be my best cosmic champion? I would say the champion is very good as a cosmic defender. I would say Venom you would put on that list. Groot is annoying with health and stuff like that. As you can see, he's also a defensive champion when you look at the notes. Going through the list here, You have a lot of annoying champions. You could put who else we got here? We got Awakened. Iron Man is annoying sometimes. He regens. And let's see who else. That's pretty much it for a lot of these champions here in Cosmic is really meant for offense. And maybe Annihilus. Let's see, but I don't have him ranked up, so I don't use him. But let's just check his information for a second. I heard a lot of people getting problems with him lately. Again, he's for offensive burst, so I wouldn't use him as a defense on Alliance War. But that's it for, I would say, defense. That's it for Cosmic. So Cosmic champions, I would say you put a champion in there and let him get the job done. Okay, a lot of the champs in Cosmic looks like are offensive champions. So let's just look at Tech next. So the Tech champions, well, the obvious players in the game, a lot of people use Spider-Man for offensive, but you will see that Spider-Man is actually a defensive champion. You knew, right? He's very good at offense, but he's really built for defense, sorry. The Green Goblin is a great synergy with Spider-Man, and he would be, obviously, defense as well, as you could see here. But he's not defense, he is actually offense. So these two guys are really reversed. You would think Spider-Man is good for offense, but it's pretty much defense. And I'll tell you why. This guy here, Green Goblin, is great for offense. You take him into the war and he can take a beating because he has that regen. He regenerates a percentage of every hit taken. So he has a great health pool, and he regenerates like crazy. So this is a great guy, and he does a lot of damage with his SP2. So a great guy for offense as well. He was one of the guys I was looking at to rank 5. But I decided to go with Star-Lord instead because of that ultimate damage. So who is the best tech? I would say tech for defense would be my boy Iron Man, Infinity War. And it's because he has that control, he has counter, he's rated highly with damage. He takes a huge armor rating of 23 and block proficiency. This guy, when he is actually awakened, then once per fight, the Iron Man's Model 50 suit executes an energy protocol, attacking while 15% health or less. And then what happens is that this guy is auto-blocking everything. And the armor suit generates 3.62% power per second and has 100% chance to auto-block attacks without consuming armor. This auto-block triggers parry. So he is annoying as hell awakened. Unawakened, easy as pie. But awakened, Iron Man Infinity War is one of the most difficult champions to fight. Ghost is great for offense, but she is the worst character for, or champion for defense. Again, she's all about control and controlling that, controlling the debuffs that you could put on her. She could just wipe that stuff off. And you miss with every hit, and then she gains power, so that's terrible. But Darkhawk is a very good defender in Alliance War. However, he has to be awakened. Unawakened, he's not that great, but awakened, he has all of these difficult states that he goes in. With that auto shield, it's annoying as hell to fight. Plus, he has that regeneration. If you knock him down, he regenerates. Very annoying champ to fight. Who else would be an annoying champ to fight? As a defender, Yondu would be a great defender, I would say. Because of those bleeds, if you don't know how to defend against him or attack him, he is great. His bleeds could just pretty much wipe out most players, and a lot of players don't know how to dexterity and fight against Yondu. So I would rank Yondu up as one of a good defensive setup. And I would say for skill, let's say tech champions, Sentinel might be a very good defender as well. And if you look at his stats, I don't have him ranked up yet because I don't have him as a 5-star. But he's a defensive tank. So he is a good defender as well. I would put him on that list. And that is it for, I would say, tech champions. And I don't have Guillotine and those guys, so I can't put them on this list because I don't have them. Again, if you have them, you could probably leave a comment and see what, and let me know which champions you think are better for defense. Let's take off tech now and let's go into the mutant category. And in the mutant category, I think the mutants, when I looked at my list and roster, I think we have the most defenders in the mutant category, starting with Miss Emma Frost herself. Again, she is defensive, critical rating 26%. She has it all. She has that armor, that frost, that is just terrible to penetrate. She could tank SP3s, and she does that awakened ability where if she's awakened, she has that power reversal going on you, control reversal. Nightcrawler, I would say, has been for a long time the best defender in Alliance War. I just got him at a 6-star. So in the next war, I intend to use him for the first time as a defender. But this guy is just pure carnage when it comes to defense. And I'm telling you, he's pretty good at offense. He doesn't hit as hard, but for defense, he's annoying as hell for defense. His critical rating is 24.56. His block proficiency is not that high, but I'm telling you, because of his evades, he's terrible to fight. And he has these 2 stages that he goes into. Dodging back, Nightcrawler shifts from tactics and switches to combat mode. And he has those 2 states he goes into. And you want him awakened because he's pretty much stays into this state that evades all the time. So one state evades, you get a lot of evades. And the second state does a lot of attacking with critical hits and bleeds. But I'm telling you, for defense, and he's on that evade phase, he's an annoying champion to fight. So the the mutants already have Emma Frost, Nightcrawler. Well, Omega Red is offense, by the way. So you would think he's defense, but he's offense. I see a lot of people putting him into wars, but he's easy to beat. You want him as offense. Colossus, however, everyone is fighting this guy and using him since the update as an attacker because he's so powerful. But for defense, he's a defensive tank. He does a good amount of armor ups, and every armor up gives him more power. He's stronger. He's bleed immune. So he has some immunities. He has a lot of immunities now, I believe. What is he immune to? Let's see. The guy is immune to all bleed, so you can't bring a bleed champion like Blade against him or Nick Fury. He's incinerate immune, so Mephisto does no damage to him. Cold Snap and Frostbite. So Iceman has nothing on this guy. So additionally, if he's not fighting a tech champion, he's also immune to armor breaks. So that takes Medusa right out of the game with this guy. So he has become very useful. So for mutants, we have Emma Frost, Nightcrawler, we have Colossus, and who else I would put in here? I would say Domino is very good. She's annoying to fight as well. So I would add a Domino for the list. And as you guys can see, Mutant seems to have a ton of people here. And I'm telling you, Domino is offensive, but she's one of the champs that is, because she's so lucky, she has a lot of times that she's just going to wreck you if you do not know how to dex her specials. And once you learn it, she's easy to fight. But if you don't know or you don't practice, it's going to be a terrible matchup for you. Now, Havoc, I've been waiting for this guy for a long time. Still don't have him as a 5-star. But if you have him as a 5-star champion, he is a guy that is going to be great for defense as well. If you put him on a node that starts him off with 2 bars of power, then this guy is great because his SP3 does so much damage. I've never seen anything else like it. He does, I think, the most damage with an SP3. I don't quote me on that, but in my experience, that's what I've seen. And he has nice, very little armor rating, block proficiency, everything is low, but this guy gets the job done. So he's an offensive champion. I don't know if you caught that. He's for offense. But again, I've seen him in Alliance War, and everyone's afraid of the path when he's on it because he's a terrible matchup for offense. And I think that's it for, let's see this guy, info on Iceman. Iceman is offensive and it's damage over time, so you'd want to use him for attack. But I think you guys get the drift right now. You check the information and see who's better for attack and who's better for defense. Nick Fury is great for, you're going to see that he is actually on the offensive list because you want him on your 5 or your 3 players for synergy reasons, because most of the fights he needs to be alive in order to enable and help the other champions on your team. So Nick Fury is a last resort on any agenda. Okay, so let's look now at where we at. We're looking at skill, right? Now we're gonna go into skill. There you go. So Nick Fury, we know, is for offense to put onto those agendas. Karnak, let's see, for example. Karnak is offensive. People, I seen them put him on the Alliance War defense. I actually had him for a while, quite a while, on defense with Medusa, just to power her up, but he's so much better as offense. Blade is for, I would say, offense, but he is actually a defensive player. Most people use him, but as you can see, he's a defensive player because he regenerates and he has a lot of bleed as well. But he's great for attack, don't get me wrong. But I'm going to tell you that the best champion in this category, where is he at, is, I don't even have this guy as a 5-star, which is annoying. I've been looking for him forever for the 5-star. I believe I have him as a 4-star, and this is this dude. Killmonger is one of the few champions in the game that has defensive and offensive capabilities that are made for the game. He's just brutal. And he is very good. You could check out his stats, but you could see on the tags, he's defensive and he's used for offense. And as we know, he is a pain in the butt to fight sometimes on specific notes. But I would say the #1 champion in the game and to put as a defense would be Korg. Korg is, again, a defensive tank. Defensive tank. He has critical resistance as well, which you would check the stats on most people, and they don't even have a critical resistance there. But he has 20% critical resistance. He's a defensive tank, and I would say the best skill champion to rank up for defense would be Korg, and whether he's awakened or not. But when he's awakened, you really need to know how to play him, and you need to hit him with only mediums, not mediums, but light attacks really fast to take down those rock stacks, or he is going to wreck you. Every time you try anything else on him, he's going to actually do more damage to you. You're going to be damaging yourself. So Korg is an annoying fighter to fight in the game. So I would say Korg for defense. If you have him, rank him up for defense. Kingpin is also very good and annoying. I'm curious to see now if he's actually offensive or defensive, but he is offensive. And that's because his SP1 lowers all your ability, accuracy, and stuff like that. So, yep, I would say Korg, Killmonger, top 2 on defense there. And I would say those are the 2 that I would pick if I were to go with mutant, well, sorry, a skill champion for, oh, let's go back here, for defense. And now we're going into the science class. And science class, we have quite a few defenders. We have this guy here, and he is going to be defensive. And you mix him up because he has a lot of synergies with a ton of people on any team. And again, you could choose a lot of people here to put on a defensive team with him from each category, and he does great damage. His SP2, if you get caught off guard with it, it's terrible. He's fantastic for offense as well. Human Torch offense, Void offense, Spider-Man, it's Miles Morales. I have a 6-star here, and he's about control. And I'm telling you, he does a lot of evades as well, so he could be annoying as well. Hulk, Ragnarok, you want to use him for offense here, and because he has that face me, which is terrible. He is a lot of good synergies, but I would say the #1 champion in the game to put on defense would be the Thing. If you have him as a 5-star, it's fantastic. But, oh, that's not a pun on Fantastic Four, by the way, but he is fantastic for defense. And you could see he just, he's a defensive tank, they have him listed as. So he is great, and he has a lot of synergies with the Fantastic Four. And guess what? Korg. So those are two great defenders with synergy, and that makes them even stronger. And guess what, guys? The champion. What a team are we building here now? So if we have the Thing, we have Korg, and we have the champion, and then Thor Ragnarok, our next tank, or the Hulk, by the way. So let's just look at Hulk Ragnarok, Ragnarok right here now. And you will see that he's offense, right? But let's just look at the Hulk himself. Do we have the Hulk here? Let's look at the Hulk, and he's a defensive tank. Now, have you ever been wrecked by the Hulk SP3? Yes, I know. I think we have all been wrecked by his SP3. So here's a fantastic team we're building here. We have Iron Man Infinity War, the champion. The champion. We have the Thing. We have Korg. And we have, who else? We have Hulk. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 1 from science, 1. No, sorry, yeah, 1. That's 2 from science, the Thing and Hulk. Korg is from skill. Captain, who is this? You know, the champion is Cosmic, and Iron Man Infinity War is what is that? Tech. So we have, out of 6 classes, we have 4 classes being represented in the war, with all having synergies, which is pretty cool. Next annoying champion in science would be Invisible Woman if she's awakened, and if she's not awakened, it's not a problem. But she's pretty easy to take down once you put a blade on her. So Killmonger or Blade or Nick Fury will be easily taking her out. Quake sometimes is annoying in Alliance War for defense. And then I would say MODOK is pretty friggin' annoying as a defender. And again, he's a defensive guard. So he's definitely one of the most annoying champions in the game. So I'd add him to the list. So I hope that helps so far. So let's go into the final category, which is Mystic. And my boy himself, Mephisto. Everyone uses him sometimes in Alliance War defense, but as you can see, his offensive damage over time is crazy. He has great critical rating. He has the guy has everything going for him. Plus, he has that if he if he's awakened, he has that entire rejuvenation going into the, not if he's awakened, because he gets that anyway. Once he has persistency charges, he could actually revive to full health, regenerate. Who else is going to be annoying here? Dormammu sometimes is very, very difficult to play with if you don't know how to avoid that SB2. And he is all about control. He's not specifically made for either offense or defense, but he does a lot of control. That could slow you down in a fight. Unstoppable Colossus used to be in the day a terrible defender. Not a lot of people know how to deal with his unstoppable, but if you just wait for it and back off and let it expire and then attack, then he's easy to play with. So I won't use him as defense anymore, but this guy is still useful in defense. Mordo actually has a great defensive ability, and he's control denial, but he's annoying with that stun because you want to parry this guy and then go in for the beating. But that is the one thing you do not want to do with him, because he actually reflects that stun right back to you and puts a degeneration on you. So he is good also, I would say, from the Mystic classes. For defense, Simba Knight Supreme. I've seen a lot of people talking about him all the time, about he's great in the game. I think he's very easy to beat as a defender. Maybe he's better for offense. But I don't have Black Widow and I don't have Doctor Doom. And so we don't have those champions in Mystic. So maybe you could leave me some comments again and see if these guys would be helpful. Someone just got excited about Diablo. I just don't like the gameplay with Diablo. He's probably a good champ in certain situation. He has a lot of regeneration, but I think he's really easy to beat. Okay, Gus got an interrupting call there, but so let's just get back into it. So I won't use him for it. Mystic, and I think that's it for Mystic. Magic could be annoying as well because she regens a lot, but I believe she is even better for offense. Seen her using Alliance War against Control, so I would just use her for offense as well. So I think with the Mystic champions is really Mephisto is going to be great for defense. Dormammu, if you want to have that annoying power control on some champions, and Mordo. But that's pretty much it. I won't use anyone else. Morningstar is they're all pretty easy to beat. I wish they made a Scarlet Witch, but again, she doesn't come in a 5-star. And definitely not 6. So that's it, folks. That's the agenda and the list for the champions that I would use in Alliance War. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave your comments, and what I'll do next is we'll do a video on Alliance War with best champions for offense. But I think you guys get you could look at your roster, check the information on the attributes now, and see who you want to rank up and bring into the war. You guys, remember, before we leave, have a fantastic day, number 1. And number 2, remember to work less, play more, and enjoy life. Have a fantastic day, guys. Bye-bye.